Hey guys, so today we are going to be going over VCRs, Nensos slash Mementos, and exactly why Global is getting completely screwed right now by your developers. So everybody knows you pull for the Nenso, you farm it out, and then a VCR pops out, right? It's super simple process, albeit apparently in Global it's way more difficult than it needs to be, and I mean significantly more difficult than it has to be. Um, so to put it in perspective, right? I have one, two, three, four, five. There's at least 5 VCRs that aren't event VCRs that are just sitting on this page alone. And I mean, if I just go through here, you can see VCR after VCR after VCR. I have the Kagura VCR, the Mocha VCR, a Tamama VCR. I'm actually not even sure. I should have 2 of those. I don't know where the other one is. But, I know what happened here. The most recent patch in, Japan made us re-download the entire game, basically, and it reset all my settings. So, that's why things are all sorts of messed up, right? So, 2 Yomi Katanas, right? There's a Vettel VCR right here. You know, there's just tons and tons of VCRs. And that is because, in Japan, VCRs are really easy to get. I mean, I've got 7 Lyle bows just sitting here, and I'm gonna get 4 more. And that is because the approach in Japan is significantly different. In Global, you guys apparently get screwed on your VCR stages. So, let's talk about that. So, in Japan, every single week we get a regional VCR stage, maybe an extra VCR stage for new Nensos. Sometimes we get an all-region VCR stage, which any region, it'll work for, like, so you can run, like, Wrath Nensos, and Desert Nensos, and Watatsumi Nensos, all in the same team and get percent on your vision for all of them. And sometimes we get the Super VCR stage for a couple days, which will give us 10% on Nensos. But that's not the only reason why it's so easy to get Nensos in Japan. So let's take a quick look at my Spica Nenso right here. So, as you can see, I haven't bothered farming it past 100%. But, because it's max limit break, every single time I have a vision percent proc on this Nenso, it's going to give me 6%. Not 1, but 6%. So if I do a Wrath VCR stage on this, so normally it would give me 3%, on this particular Nenso, it would give me 18% per day. For an entire week, you're basically looking at another VCR in a single week for a max limit break Nenso. It's so much easier, and it gets even easier when you include the Super VCR stage. So, in the Super VCR stage, it gives you 10% instead of 1. However, the way the game handles that is it actually multiplies the percent that you were supposed to get by 10. So, on the Super VCR stage, my Spica Nenso would get 60% a day. 60% a day. Right, so if it goes on for 4 days, I will get 2.5 VCRs almost. Just on that alone, just for having a max limit break Nenso. Now, getting a max limit break Nenso is hard. However, this bonus isn't just applied to max limit break Nensos. Let's take a look at my Klima Nenso, right? So my Klima Nenso is +3, so it's got 3 limit breaks. That means it's going to get 4% every time it triggers. And on the Super VCR stage, it's going to get 40%, which is still a VCR in 3 days on a Super VCR stage, and it's so much easier to raise than it would be otherwise, just for that. However, in Global, not only do you not get weekly regional VCR stages, but you also don't get that extra percent, is my understanding of it, because I was actually just talking to Kazna, and she was talking to me about exactly what's going on, and verifying a couple things of the way things changed in Japan, and I didn't realize they were still doing this to Global. But yeah, you guys are getting screwed, and you're getting screwed hard. So, it seems like when they release a new set of Nensos, they're releasing a VCR stage related to them. Kaz was telling me that you guys have received 4 VCR stages so far. I can tell you in Japan, since I started over a year ago, I've had a VCR stage almost every single week, except for this. I feel like there's one small span of time where they just did something weird, but then it came back, and everything was good with the world. So as you can see right here, this week we have the Watatsumi VCR stage, so all your Watatsumi Nensos, I can actually pull this up right here and show off my team. Right, I don't have a team full of Watatsumi Nensos right now because I've already maxed them all. I mean, if I go in here real quick and go over to my Watatsumi Nensos, find them, they're towards the beginning. Alright, so I don't need more than one sets in a VCR, so that's not important. I had 2 sets in a VCRs from that Nenso. I have 2 rated Nenso or VCRs. I have 1 Kuza. I've already maxed out my Crete, or my Kudito. Now I am gonna fuse these and probably get more, but it's really not necessary. You really don't need more than 1 Kagura VCR either. I've almost gotten myself a 3rd Izuyoi VCR, and I've already gotten my Itsuki VCR. You know, it's so much easier in global, I can't even begin to describe it. And then you also have this VCR stage for the new Nensos this week. So we have Neferti, Ankh, and the new unit Mashuri all got new Nensos this week, and they has its own VCR stage just for that. So global, what's going on? You know, you really should be petitioning your devs for weekly VCR stages. The idea that you guys should be expected to just manually farm all your quests to try to get VCRs, or to pay for mech raddies or mechanical visions. Let me show you guys something real quick, right? In Japan, not only do they give us way more free crap when it comes to this, at least I think they do, it's so much easier, because remember, those VCR stages can drop mechanical visions. I actually just got 2 mechanical visions today from my VCR stages, which is actually really lucky. You don't normally see that, but the point I'm trying to make is it can happen, and not only do you get the percent from your regional VCRs, or your regional Nensos, and the vision percents, but you're also going to get mechanical visions that can be used for other Nensos. So let me pull up a Nenso here real quick. That I want to pull up. What should I pull up? What has a VCR that I want? Just so you guys know, I did 0 preparation for this. I kind of heard what was going on, I got angry, and I just booted up OBS and started recording without so much as even a thought. But, yeah. That's just me sometimes. I don't want that. I guess I'll go to Nyx. I'm not going to pop this or anything, but I have a Nyx Nenso. I actually got this from a free pool, because in Japan, we get 1 free Nenso pool a day. It's kind of like the daily rare summon, except it's for Nensos, and it can include the new and featured Nensos, because I'm pretty sure this is a limited Nenso. I'd have to double check. Normally Genesis units get limited Nensos, but maybe it is in the general pool. I'm not entirely sure. Anyways, go right here, and go over here. So, I don't have a ton of mechanical visions right now, because I just used a bunch of them kind of recently. But look at all the stuff down here. These are actually freebies. So, as you can see, these are essentially units that act as mechanical visions, except these are going to give 10% instead of 5, like the mechanical visions do. And same with the New Year's ones, 10%. And if you go down, recently with the Takatame movie, they gave us some with scenes from the movie itself. I don't know if I ever showed this one off. Just show that off real quick. I think it was scenes from the movie itself. I could find them. So as you can see here, there's Kasumi with a friend of hers, right? These give 61.4% on your vision. And we got those all for free. So it's just practically over half of a single Nenso. Real fast, real easy, and completely free. So, global, you're gonna have to get your shit together here. There's really 0 reason why the players who play in global should be suffering with their VCRs like this. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm sure you guys do get like opportunities to get mechanical visions, but if you're paying gems for them, I mean, it's been so long since I felt the need to pay gems for mechanical visions. Like, VCRs just literally fall out of the sky in Japan. Um, you got the devs in global really need to get working on this because it's really going to be a problem going forward. Because as more and more Nensos come out, you can't run all the Nensos that you want to pop in the same team, if you know what I mean. Like, eventually you are going to get to a point, if it continues this way, because you can't pop your Nensos fast enough, where you literally are just inundated with Nensos that you can't get the VCRs from, and at that point the game's going to feel very stagnant because the VCR percent is very low. You still don't have the upgrade where like a max limit break VCR is going to give you better percentage than a non-max limit break VCR. It's really a cancerous state of the game, and things kind of felt like that in Japan at first. During those couple weeks, I think it was, way back when. This is like back between the desert and what's it called, the Watatsumi Babel, that this happened. So this was a very long time ago, where it was the VCR stages like would not come out, or at least the VCR stages for the new regions wouldn't come out. So there was no way to farm like Watatsumi Nensos, and it felt so bad to have the Nenso, and you really want that VCR. But ain't no one got time to pop the freaking auto button freaking hundreds of times in normal quests just to get a couple of percent. And let's just face it, doing manuals on the your hard quests every day, which is what I did back when I was new to try to get VCR percent, is I just, well, it was technically auto, but it wasn't skip ticketed. Like, you'd auto through all your hard quests and then do like extra maps for gear, for equipment, and try to get vision percent, and it's just not worth the time and effort, is really what it boils down to. Nowadays, if I can't get it off of the VCR stage, and I'm not just looking for like 1%, I don't even try to farm it. So yeah, I highly suggest you guys petition your devs to get their crap together, because this is definitely a crappy situation for you guys to be in. Anyways, guys, sorry for my rant. I just heard this was happening, and it just kind of annoyed me, because way back when, and this is back before the Full Metal Alchemist collab happened, for months I had been telling a lot of people in Global that there was a hard quest issue, and it was gonna slap you across the face really hard, because they were only releasing like 2 new hard quests a month, but they were releasing like 6 new units a month. So if you just did the math back then, it was pretty clear that these new units, you weren't going to get hard quests for them for like a year and a half, which is just stupid. Could you imagine if they released a unit and you didn't get a hard quest for over a year? That's absolutely ludicrous. You'd have no way to use the unit, and with Kaigen coming, because remember, Kaigen was becoming a very real reality back at that time, where it was very likely that units would get their Kaigens before their hard quests, was the way things were going. And this realization really started to sink in at about the Full Metal Alchemist collab point, which is when the petition on Reddit started, and Gumi had to change gears really fast, and they released like 8 hard quests in the month of December because of it. Because they basically, everyone realized just how screwed they were going to be on the horizon, because they weren't even giving like the good hard quests. At that point, Albea had been out for over 200 days past her initial launch, and Albea came out very early in the game, remember. And I feel like a very similar situation is about to happen here. As you progress further into the whole Nenso and VCR things, these things are going to become more and more important, with certain units absolutely depending on their VCRs and Nensos to be able to perform at the level that they can and should be performing at. And if they don't get their crap together with this and get these VCR stages out so you can start farming these VCRs, you're going to find yourself in a very similar situation where you're going to have a bunch of units and no equipment to put on them. And some of this equipment is vital for them to function in the hardest content the game has to offer. So that's all I have to say for today, guys. Thanks for watching. I do plan on putting out a video with some of Rahu's updates soon. Look forward to that. I might do it tonight. I don't know. We'll see how I'm feeling. I'm kind of tired today. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you next time.